subject talking, and feel free to join me or step in and share more. I will count on you to add more details on some of the things. I also prepare some links opened in my browser in case of wanting to show more. But after the call, we can share with our community as a summary of what we discussed in the community call for July. I feel like people are already half in vacation or half thinking of their vacation, so probably hard to gather people around for online call. I'm happy for those who will follow this call or this recording, and also thankful for those that already ask questions in Discord or in other platforms. Keep the conversation going with us. We are more than happy to reply to your question or give suggestions or even be more clear with our documentation or with what we put out there, information, examples, demos. Let us know how you feel about it. And for today's it's not even loaded. On the agenda, in the first part and the major part of the talk, we'll discuss what we have new in CodeSandbox in the last few months. Was a very, very full of things, half of year for us here at CodeSandbox, and we managed last week to put out the changes for the last 2 months with lots of things, and we'll tackle the most important or major features that we added in our platform. And we'll end with a community spotlight. It is a community call, so more than happy to share or to bring a bit more attention to the project that our community does with CodeSandbox. And probably you heard about Boxy. We do hope that Boxy brings an AI coding assistant in your mind. We heard after our launches that Boxy was also like a music band a few years back. Also, I think a comic book. So we are happy that the name is so famous. We do hope it will get even more famous or will be the default our AI coding assistant. And we would love to hear if you feel like this is helpful for you, if you believe if AI will simplify your work. 2 weeks ago, I've been in Romania at a conference, and there I asked the audience if they feel they use AI. Yes, to my surprise, most people use AI, and the surprise came because they use it as non-technical at work too. The room was full of developers for my talk, and was surprised to see that they use it even for non-technical. It was like a balance of 30% for those that use it to generate code in their daily technical work, and 30% for those that want to generate other stuff like text for meetings or replies. I can bet more emails are now sent by AI than for real humans. But nevertheless, I'm more than happy to mention how we used AI at CodeSandbox with our coding assistant. And the two things that came most handy for the developers right now on the spot is their help of the Boxy on refactoring their code and in generating their code. I mentioned these two as in probably productivity and also to take some of the mundane work that you have in the back. If you want to add a new part, you want to change some of the UI features, it's very easy to go. Activate Boxy, which you can do it from the icons we have in the terminal here, in the display, and it will instantly give you suggestion how we change. We are gonna see it in a bit in a demo. This is how it would work. This is the AI playground that we have accessible for everybody. And if you want to try it, you find the link for it in our blog post. The blog post, so you know you're familiar with it, is this. It starts with a bit of intro from Ives. And we also had Boxy adding its own story to it. Yes, AI can contribute to writing their own stories. And the part that's very dear to us because it represents value that we have to have a product and a platform that is accessible to everyone and encourage new people to learn coding is that Boxy makes indeed learning how to code more accessible. You can always go and ask why is the function used, why the syntax is there, what it tries to do, and Boxy will share the reasoning on why something was used in in your program, in your platform, whatever you want to build with CodeSandbox. Ives, do you want to try to demo something or simple examples that you already used? Or if you want to share the most important or most fun thing that you saw implemented with Boxy?
Ooh, interesting.
Or, or Necoline here, if you want to think also for something that you hear from our engineers. And by the way, I think I didn't give you a chance to introduce yourselves. That's my fault. I got too excited to start.
Ah,
Ives is our founder,
yeah, yeah,
one of our
uh,
founders.
yeah. I'm one of the co-founders. I'm the co-founder that usually makes the mess at the company, and then my other co-founder cleans it up. Um, we started working on CodeSandbox about 7 years ago when it was still a side project, really a student project. Um, but when we released it, I think in 2017, it started to gain a lot of steam as more people started using it for both building new projects, but also to share projects with other people. And now we're in this Discord call. Um, I can demo. Shall I demo something from Boxy if you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was prepared just to show how it goes, especially for those that don't have access to it. Will be nice to see how it literally implements stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Let me find first. Um, um, Let me open a project. Maybe
Yeah,
other people can introduce themselves first while I'm
yeah,
preparing the.
yeah. And to share their most interesting thing with AI lately. We can also do a poll later in Discord to find out from our community. Felipe, wanna take the floor?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Philippe. I'm product marketing manager here at CodeSandbox. I'm probably the person that knows the least coding in the room. Not probably, I am. That's a fact. So I guess the thing I love the most about Boxy, just the other day I was playing around trying to embed a form into one of our website pages, just like playing around with it on a branch. And it actually got me through. That was amazing. Just seeing it actually display the form on a website page without me understanding like 80% of what's going on, but still being able to see the preview. That was super awesome. Really nice feeling.
Great,
Great.
thanks.
Nicole, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I am Nico. I am product manager here at Good Sandbox, and I was just thinking about my favorite part about Boxy, and I think like as time goes on and the more features we put out, the more I love how I guess lazy I am because I never have to leave Code Sandbox for anything these days. So I used to have my,
Yes.
Chat GPT window open or, some kind of like Google habit. And it took me a minute to kick the habit of being like, oh, I have a question. I'm going to exit and go here to be like, you know what? Boxy is here. And so I just, do similar things or just generate like components or we'll ask questions and it gives me the feeling of like never like quote unquote like getting off the couch because I'm just like
Yes.
it's all just in the exact same spot. So I love that feeling. Yeah, I find increasingly that I never go anywhere. Recently I was like needing to think about like doing a demo. Or not creating like a demo of like a before and after, like what it would look like on localhost and what it would look like doing it on Code Sandbox. And I was just, I guess, dreading going back to like the local environment because it's at this point like feels so much more arduous. But anyway, that's me.
That's indeed a good usage and helps a lot. Will help for me because I have all the time thousands of tabs open. Don't judge. Searching for stuff. So, or five Stack Overflows to get me solutions. So for sure. I want to add that for me, I love the reaction of our engineers, literally when they start working on this. And I think they were working on the commit messages and they were impressed how good they were. And they literally start doubting their own skills on writing those, and they were like, this is so much better than I used to write. Like, this is so cool. And I think we kind of know that that step is sometimes a burden for people because you just have to create something, not to be too lazy to create it, but also to have some impact or to be meaningful there. And I love the joy that they had when they share with the team that the commit messages are really, really on spot. Back to
Yeah,
basic.
maybe I can show that actually.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess this then a demo that goes into more of the general general flow of how we work with CodeSandbox. But so this is CodeSandbox, and with CodeSandbox we nowadays also do all our development on CodeSandbox. And so what you're seeing right here is a bit of an inception, because here this is the project. This is the project of CodeSandbox. So if I could close this is CodeSandbox itself. And then here in the browser, we're rendering the dev server of our CodeSandbox project. So we're kind of using CodeSandbox to develop CodeSandbox. So that creates this kind of inception, which can be a bit confusing when you look at it for the first time. But this is the header. It's on our CodeSandbox with CodeSandbox applications repo. And we're right now on the main branch. And generally, how it works on CodeSandbox is that every branch has their own environment, their own development environment, which if someone else would open this branch, I would be able to see their avatar. I would be able to work together with them.
You maybe share a link and I'll join.
Oh yeah.
So they can show our avatars.
How can I share that? Because on Discord sharing is a bit.
Let me try to get there either way.
Okay. I'm going to jump out from this place actually pretty soon as well, because when you want to contribute to a repo like this one, we don't really normally we don't allow you to make edits to the main branch directly. Because of that, the main branch is protected, as you can see here. Because if everyone would start making edits to the main branch at the same time, then it can get pretty messy. And because of this, whenever you make an edit, we kind of inherently, we create a new branch for you, and we kind of clone the current environment that you're looking at and open a new branch on that environment, so you can continue working without disrupting anyone else. So for example, let's say I want to make a change. I can click actually on a component and then go to the actual code. And let's say I want to rename this open editor to open web editor. What I can do is I can make that change. And now when I press save, in the background, we have now cloned the current environment, and we have created a new branch, and it's now actually loading this environment. Wait, maybe I need to refresh because the Next.js server could be reloading. But after it has loaded, it's still on this compiling. Yeah, there it is. After it has loaded, you can verify it's open. It says open web editor. And here you have kind of coming in one of the AI functionalities that we have. We generate commit messages automatically based on the diff of the current change that you made. It can have also, you can regenerate it if you want to. You can say like, oh, it's actually thinking, oh, change button text from open editor to open web editor. Well, that makes sense. Then you can click create PR, and we'll handle automatically creating the commit, pushing the branch with the commit, creating the pull request, and also even running the checks. So for example, if you have any commit checks, then we'll also handle those. You can also check the progress if you click on committing. And now you can see here that it has the pull request. And the cool thing is every pull request also has a development environment that you can use to review the pull request. So if someone else comes in and they have been working maybe in their local VS Code and they quickly want to review the pull request, they can also open this running development environment with the preview inside CodeSandbox without requiring to go back to, without checking out the branch locally. I can also maybe show part of Boxy, if that makes sense. I can, for example, so we have Boxy, this AI assistant, and you can use it both to make changes or to ask questions. And you can also say, for example, what does this code do? And then open Boxy. And now the important part, I think, that happens with Boxy is Boxy doesn't only understand this code snippet, it has we've created embeddings of the whole code base, which essentially means that whenever you ask a question, we also try to find relevant other code pieces that will help with answering that question, and we also provide that to the LLM. So in this case, there are also other places where maybe create branch from current has been used, and then Boxy will get that information as well to help answer that question. I think that's a very important part of this integration, because there might be questions like, where do I find certain environment variables, or what is this environment variable used for? And you will get more context. And it's a chat, so you can also continue talking. Okay, this was a small demo of what we have recently worked on with CodeSandbox.
Indeed, and I think it was really cool to see. We could see later on the video that both me and Necoline were able to join the same branch. First the main, and after that the laughing Cory one that you worked on and pushed the change. So really cool. Thanks for sharing that. I think that for sure people will share more projects that they did with Boxy after. I'm more than happy to see them, and I'll invite them in Discord to share more. For going forward, I think the second update for today was about the embeds that we had and the new layout. I think you were playing at the beginning some of that part button. I'll skip it because I want to mind also a bit the time. Wanna add anything for the VS Code update, Ives? There I know, well, from my part was that we got a lot of feedback from our users, and we tried to push, to listen to them and push the changes, and we hope that brings a bit more familiar workaround or flows, sorry, there. For it, yeah, sorry, wanna add anything, Ives, or maybe I'll go next?
Yeah, if you want to, I can also give a demo of this.
Well, yeah. I mean, for sure,
It depends
we
on-
can extend it a bit, and we have it for later for people to watch. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Let me share my screen again. So one important, can you see my screen, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
So
it is.
one important part of CodeSandbox, and especially the latest version of CodeSandbox, is that we have a VS Code integration. This means that you can open both sandboxes and you can open repositories or branches while connected to CodeSandbox in VS Code. And even the live collaboration still continues working. So for example, one person could be connected through the web editor, another person could be connected with the iOS app of CodeSandbox, and you could be connected with VS Code. While you can still use your own extensions, you can use your own themes, you can use your own key bindings, really your own preferences. And there's both. Recently, we already had this functionality for a while, but recently we also introduced this functionality for sandboxes, and we generally made the experience a bit more integrated with CodeSandbox. So for example, if let's say you're working on something and you want to quickly create a sandbox to test something, maybe specifically to Rust or something else, you can do create new sandbox, and we will show you the most popular templates. And you can create a new sandbox from here. So for example, I could say, I want to test something with Rust. You press enter, we open this little modal thing, and we start a new sandbox. So we fork to the Rust sandbox, we start a new sandbox, and we directly open an SSH session to this new sandbox, and you can get going from there. Now installing the VS Code server. and you have a little Rust app that you can work with. Yeah, there it is. And it also has everything really from Rust. So for example, in this case, I have a Rust extension installed. And so I think it's actually still booting up. Yeah, there it is. And this Rust extension is being installed, I think. Oh, I still need to manually install it. So I can install it. And now the extension should activate. But you can imagine that maybe it's now downloading. Like,
Yeah, I was about to take. I mean, we were just discussing the other day how we perceive performance, even in terms of seconds sometimes, and we feel it like it's forever.
yeah, actually, this is an interesting one to consider, to look into. It is.
I see.
Yeah, I think in this case, since it's Rust, and maybe Rust is a bit of an extreme case, but at CodeSandbox, we give all our VMs for sandboxes, we give them essentially the free specs, which is 2 GB of memory and 2 CPUs. If you're pro, then you get 8 GB of memory and 4 CPUs. So I can imagine that, especially for Rust, which is pretty heavy when it comes to execution, it can take a bit to I guess analyze it. Yeah, as you can see here, now it's doing the build, and then you have it. But you can, from here, you can install any kind of dependencies. You can use really anything that you would want to use to get started. Also, you can manage tasks from here now. That's also new, and you can also manage terminals from here, which you can use to, well, yeah, I guess manage the terminals itself. That is my little VS Code demo.
Thanks. I think it was really good to see it live going. Let me close your stream. And on a more diverse announcement, we do have Go support. And that's why I also opened some links. I wanted to remember the March Madness that we started, I think end of March, and we had 8 languages competing, among them Rust, Python, and PHP. Those were launched, and after that we came with, I think C++ was Java. You can see I literally searched for all of the options that we had. I guess we now know who won already. And we have now the LSP ready. We do have a template for you. We announce it in our blog post, so you have everything there. If you want to check it out, feel free to go to codesandbox.io/blog, and there we have all of the templates that we have, all the support languages that we have. If you have any questions or concerns how to use it, or how can you do if something doesn't work, reach on Discord for us. We most of the time check there and reply in time, and should be good to go easily. I would suggest, I would like to say that if you have any suggestions for us, do let us know. We will try to consider it, but I don't want to make promises, so take it with a grain of salt. We'll do our best to support as many languages as we can. And one of the updates that is very dear to us is that at the beginning of June, Sandbox got nominated to Open Source Awards, part of the Git Nation event in Amsterdam, JS Nation. And we were very proud of this, especially that we won this award, I think, 2-3 years before, if my memory doesn't lie to me now. And I think from our side was Jasper Demur, our colleague, and he participated at JS Nation while the whole award ceremony took place. Unfortunately, we did not win it, but for us, being nominated by the community, seeing how much love is towards Sandbox meant the world, and we are more than proud for that, for sure. And especially considering this highlight that I mentioned. The community spotlights that I chose for today are two based on Sandbox, and one was the launch of Million.dev, and they use Sandbox there to add integrated code examples. It was one of the suggested coming from their community. They had it like a complaint that the example were not that useful without a live implementation, without interactive examples. And we are more than happy that they chose us to implement in their docs. Do go to Million.dev and check it out. And second came today literally, and we were gonna highlight tomorrow on our social media. We do community spotlights. Well, we try to do community spotlights most of the Fridays to end the week with a thank you to our community. And I think Peter shared with us that he used also Sandbox for his project documentation and made it very easy to show live code examples. And he literally shared it earlier today on Discord. If you have any cool project or something that you're proud, cool is very hard to define, but something that you're proud or something that helps you and you use CodeSandbox or any other projects, do share it with us. We'd love to a shout out and amplify your work. As in terms for what's next in our courtyard, next week we'll have a panel with I'll be joined by two other fellow engineer managers in a discussion around code reviews. Probably we're gonna try to figure out if looks good to me is really a good review or not, and how people feel about it, especially in teams or larger teams, not only on alone or small teams. And stay tuned for our newsletter. We're gonna send out our first community newsletter, again with a round of news there, examples, but also from our extended web community. It's not gonna be only about CodeSandbox, but whatever rocks the world of the web, because we want to support that too. So yeah, that was all that we prepared for this community call on July. In this summer breeze here in the northern hemisphere, I guess the people in the south hemisphere are not that happy with the dark coming on their way. But nevertheless, thanks for joining. We will try to add the recording online so others can watch it and ask questions. We are, as usual, available on Discord and our social media channels on LinkedIn and Twitter. Oh, yes, today was a bit of a storm there with the new platform launch. We'll see if we can, or if you want to be on that too. But nevertheless, write us and we were more than happy to reply and again, maybe amplify your work. Thanks so much, Filipe, Ives, and Necoline for joining me and for the help in demoing stuff. And I'll see you in the next one, hopefully in around a month. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Yo.